Southeast Portland, Selwood, and Milwaukee. And I'm running right now because I think that Oregon is at a crossroads, and there are some critical decisions that we need to make that will determine the Oregon that future generations inherit. We're having serious conversations about housing and the type of state that we want to have. Do we want a state that is only the playground of the wealthy, where $3,000 a month apartments are coupled with $10 ice creams? No! Hell no! That is not what we want. So I am excited to be running at the state level because I think that there is a ton that we can do at the state legislature that bears on this issue. We need people like me who will be pushing to remove the statewide ban on rent control. Give communities every tool in the toolbox to make sure that our residents stay housed. We need to be investing in public infrastructure and most specifically public housing so that we are not this is great. So that we are not in the situation of having to make a devil's choice between people living on the spring water or being put in a human warehouse in Terminal 1. That is the wrong decision for us to be making, and we can be making different ones. We need a statewide standard minimum on tenants' rights. Nowhere in Oregon should no-cause evictions be legal. And that is not just a Portland issue, it is not a Multnomah County issue. Residents across the state deserve to know that they will have stable housing that they can count on, and that they can count on their rent not being increased 10% every year ad infinitum. And then this is not strictly a housing issue, but I think that campaign finance reform is also a huge part, because if the 1% of realtors and developers and property owners can elect the candidates that they want and can swamp our city hall and our state capital in Salem with lobbyists, then we end up with a system that is out of balance, where our policies reflect just what the wealthiest 1% want and not what the rest of us want. We need to make sure that everyone's voices are heard in Salem, at the City Hall, at the county. It needs to not just come, perspectives can't just come from boardrooms, but also from one bedrooms. So, studios. Yeah, studios. Exactly. It needs to be affordable. So, I am super excited to be out here with PTU and standing up against A&G Management. We have seen that the free market does not work. We need to be able to have tools that will create the conditions where people can count on their rent being affordable. We need to create housing at all levels. That's what I'm excited to do in the legislature, and I'm excited to continue to work with all of you to make that happen. So thank you so much for being here. We are stronger together, and we need to stand up against companies like A&G Management until they back down. I'm James Ossink, and I'm running for State Senate District 21, Southeast Portland, Selwood, and Milwaukee.
Candidates for rent control!
Alright, give it up for James Ossink. So next up, we have another soon-to-be elected official, great candidate, Chloe Udaley's running for City Council against the landlord-funded Steve Novus.
Okay. Here we go. I got it. Get it. Good morning, everybody! Thank you to PTU for giving me a chance to say a few words this morning. My name is Chloe Udaley. I'm a lifelong Portlander, a single mom, a small business owner, and a renter.
Thank you very much.
Who, like many of you, works hard every month to pay my rent.
That's right!
Since 1985, Portland rents have been allowed to rise unchecked. People have been to developers, home builders, and the landlord lobby, doing virtually nothing to protect tenants from becoming cost burden, to mitigate the effects of displacement, or keep up with the need for affordable housing.
That's right.
We need regulatory tools such as rent stabilization and an end to no-cause eviction. For the same reason we need minimum wage to stop renters from being exploited. Today, let's make sure A&G Management gets our message, even though they're running scared from this building we're standing in front of. We will no longer allow profits to come before basic needs and human dignity. This is only the beginning of our fight against those who wish to exploit and evict us. This is our... Can the people hear me over this truck? This is our city, and we're standing united to take it back. Let's make Portland a city that works for all of us, not just the landlords. Thank you for coming. Chloe Daly running for Portland City Council against the status quo.
So, about 3 months ago, there was a shooting in front of these Ash Street apartments. And my neighbor, she still has a bullet hole in her front porch. I applied to move into the Ash Street apartments when it was under previous management for $875 a month. It transitioned over to A&G Management, and they said, oh, you're approved. We just need $600, half of the rent for the security deposit. I said, $600? I thought it was $875. They said, no, the new lease is going to be $1,200. Hell no. I'm not paying $1,200 for a place where there's drive-bys and they won't even fix the lock on the garbage to keep people from coming in and doing heroin in the garbage area, as well as in front of people's houses, in their doorways, in the stairwells. That's ridiculous. Hell no.
Hell no!
So what'd you do?
There are better places out there for cheaper. A&G, you can go to hell. And next up, we have Elena Langford. She's also a tenant.
Lena!
Just 1 second,
I just want to thank everyone for coming out and supporting us. I am interested in negotiating with A&G and helping us stay in our homes. And I hope that they reach out to us and see that they've left a lot of people with very little options, on the verge of homelessness, experiencing extreme stress. Housing instability creates a huge impact across the whole family, and my family is feeling this.
You're not alone.
Not alone.
I just thank everyone for coming and showing your support, that this is not just our building. While it seems really compartmentalized, because it's affecting all 8 of us that are in a month-to-month situation on Ash Street. It's happening across the whole city, and something needs to be done to protect tenants so they don't community. So I hope that this brings about change for us now, but for everyone else in the city of Portland.
And next up, we have the Honorable Margot Black.
Hey everybody, I don't deserve the title of honorable. I appreciate that. I think what is exciting is that it starts with one voice. You realize that you're not the only person thinking, this isn't fair, this isn't right, this isn't sustainable, none of this makes sense. You know, the last time I was forcibly displaced from my home, I just thought, how am I expected to move my family and our pets out of our community, out of our neighborhood school district? That was a few years ago when there was only 30 days notice. When you got a family and we're looking at security deposits and all the other costs of moving, it's financially destabilizing. The Oregonian did an article and said that tenants should